Well, I wanted to ask you about so, and it was a good transition, even talking about what y'all are going through and going to the meeting. So, with Jedidiah Brown, we talked about that a little bit. What's going on as far as, because obviously I've seen many YouTubers cover the story,
Let me
and
just say this. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you ask the
let me
question.
give a quick disclaimer. My thing is that obviously this is an interesting story, but I have ties to Dalton. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, at the end of the day. I want the information to get out. So I'm one of many people just trying to understand what's going on and get the information out.
Mm-hmm.
And, for me, I just feel like it's really about getting the information out, because this is a micro example of
Mm-hmm.
bad government that
Absolutely.
you don't want to see on a larger scale. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? In addition to my ties to Dalton, it's bad government that you do not want to see. And
Absolutely.
so I
And
just
it's
want
a
to put that
learning
disclaimer out
experience
there.
for everyone across the world because now you know the questions to ask, what to look for. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it's teaching people that never cared about local government what to look for when you are dealing with your local government. So from
Yes.
that perspective, it's a very good learning lesson. But it's on the
Yes.
back of Dalton.
Right. Right.
Go
And
ahead.
and and that's why I'm glad you said that, because I tell people all the time, I didn't pay attention to local government for the most part at all. I tell people all the time, I'm not going to act like, oh, I've been paying attention. I have not.
Right.
Up until a couple of years ago when I first started hearing her name,
Hmm.
and I heard, I'm from Dalton, so, and I still have a lot of friends there in Illinois and Dalton in general. So when I
Hmm.
found out we had a female mayor, I was like, oh, that's cool. I remember thinking to myself a couple years ago, back in 2020, I'm like, yo, that sounds kind of cool, good for Dalton. And I'm just thinking about all these great things that are probably happening. And I heard her age. I'm like, yo, she's a little younger than me. So I'm like, great. It's finally
Hmm.
being ran by people in our generation. It made me
Right.
proud. It made me say people that we went to school from and now we were kids and now we're adults. We've had people like we've had athletes, we've had Napoleon and Donovan McNabb and people like that people know of,
Hmm.
nationally or worldwide, that's from that area.
Right.
Antoine
Randall.
Randall, and so on. You know what I mean? All these people from Dalton Riverdale. Now, when I heard that there's a mayor there, I said, this is someone in our age. And I'm like, cool. Now we're running the town. And I thought back then I wasn't thinking deeply, but I said, this is positive. This is good.
I
And
thought so too. She had me bamboozled. Yeah.
but when I start hearing the negative stuff, then I started to peep, and I'm like, this is not good. But anyway, the reason why I brought all that up is that the YouTubers who are following it, a lot of people are following the story. I see people making stories. Their whole YouTube channel is based on
Based on
the,
Tiffany.
what I'm saying, and based on Tiffany, exactly. And
That is the township and Dalton, technically.
exactly. And the thing about it is that, so I wanted you to speak to what is the YouTube beef that's going on between
Okay.
Jedidiah and the YouTubers, and what's
So
going on
let's
there with the
start at
YouTubers?
the beginning. So when we couldn't get people to listen to us, the news, Sherry Brighton, she came up with the idea to take it to YouTube. At that time, I was never even on YouTube. I wasn't watching YouTube, but a lot of people watch YouTube videos. Now, mind you, I've been sick, so I'm out of the loop on a lot of stuff that's going on at
Viv,
that.
one thing real quick. I
Uh-huh.
want I want to reiterate something you just said. So you're saying that the news wasn't covering it at all.
They wasn't covering it like we wanted them to, and we were trying
It
to
was
get
YouTube who turned it up.
right. We were trying to get a lot of attention to the finances and to what the trustees was going through. So we had to take it to the YouTubers because the YouTubers they do good content, and when they do good content, they have high numbers of people that watch their views. I mean, watch their videos. So I think that they took it to Pink Book Lessons. They took it to Hannibal is Hungry
Mm-hmm.
and Shawani Burns. So those are
Mm-hmm.
like the first three YouTubers that they took it to, and they rolled with it. Like they were doing really good content with it. They were watching the meetings. They were creating clips, like you just did, and talking about Dalton. That started getting the buzz. So when that started getting the buzz, they started using other content creators from YouTube to give them the same information so they can, start posting their own stories. What happened was when Tiffany got wind of that, she flipped a couple of the content creators. So, like one of them, her name is Lolita, who claimed she was a Dalton resident. I didn't know this heifer, never seen her growing up in Dalton, but that's what she claims. She had another one, Conscious somebody. She had this guy. I forgot his name. He was a loser too. Then she had this one like devil worshiping lady. Like seriously, this lady would be online at 3 a.m. reading tarot cards and making weird laughs and stuff. Like for real, for real. Like it was crazy. So with the YouTubers that we were using, they all flipped and went to Tiffany's side because they everybody wants to have that first story, right? Everybody
Right.
wants to be able to, okay, like when Keith Freeman filed bankruptcy, Shwani Burns, she's the one that released that. And then everybody else got you see how I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they
Yeah.
always wanted to be the ones to break something. And
Hmm.
they wasn't getting the content that they needed to break the stories. They were always like second and third.
Got you.
So for the ones that really wasn't getting content at all, they flipped with Tiffany. They got mad at Dalton because we had people that we were already using that was already set up in place already. Now, if you
Hmm.
look at what's going on in Dalton, you know that people gonna watch your videos because it has something to do with Dalton.
Right.
So if you're a good content creator, then that's up to you to figure out how to get your channel better.
Sure.
That's your thing. And it's
Sure.
like if you're boring, you're boring. I don't know.
Right.
I'm just let's keep it real.
It is
So
what it is.
So with Jedidiah was releasing a lot of breaking news for content that he was creating. Now, when
Hmm.
Jedidiah started, he didn't have a YouTube, so YouTube wasn't his thing. He was only on Facebook,
Hmm.
and Jedidiah already came with a following because remember I told you he was been an activist under Andrew Holmes.
Right.
So a lot of people know of Jedidiah,
Hmm.
and they're jealous of the relationship that he had with Dalton because he came into Dalton and led the charge when it came to the
Hmm.
YouTube and the content. Now, Jedidiah has an investigation team set up that helps him. So, that's his thing. Investigate and advocate. That's what he called himself. So
Hmm.
a lot of the other YouTubers was just jealous because Jedidiah has that spotlight.
And they don't
And
care about Dalton, though.
they don't really give about down, and that's the whole thing. It's like all of these YouTubers' whole purpose is to monetize,
Right.
and everybody was just assuming that Jedidiah was just monetizing off of everything, which I don't know what in Jedidiah's pockets, how he do his money or whatever, but everybody was already making money off of Dalton, and in my opinion, it's sad because y'all not giving it back to Dalton at all. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Y'all taking our pain and y'all monetizing it, and y'all
Yeah.
not even trying to help with what we're going through.
Right.
Jedidiah at least shows up to the meetings. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? He's there. He's present. All these
Right.
other YouTubers, they just want to be on YouTube, which is fine. It's
Hmm.
that's what YouTube is for, to create content and to help you get subscribers to watch it.
Right.
But y'all mad at him because he has more subscribers or he has all of the details of what's going on with Tiffany Hinger. And it's like, even whatever he break, you still can talk about. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
what's the beef? It's just like all of the YouTube, and I get tired of all of them. Like even Grace Levy, like she went in the other day on Jedidiah Brown, and I don't watch YouTubers' content really. And you remember I
Hmm.
told you because I still haven't really watched the full interview from us. I watched the clips, but I'm gonna be honest, I didn't watch the because I hate hearing myself talk. but I do. It's real. It's so real. You think I'm playing? It's so real. Like I won't even rewatch the meetings. Oh, I'll fast forward past myself when I do public comment. It's so extra, but it's just that everybody has some type of content that they're trying to create. It's all
Yeah.
about the validity of that story, right?
Right.
And
Right.
whether or not what you're creating and what you're telling to the masses is true.
Right.
And Jedidiah, a lot of stuff that he said has not been debunked. You understand what I'm saying? So when he broke stories about Henyard and broke stories about the trustees, even when Jerry Jones resigned, Jedidiah knew that before other people would know.
Mm-hmm.
But Jedidiah was like one of the ones that forced Jerry Jones to resign because Jerry Jones had a sketchy past of quote unquote allegedly touching boys.
Mm. And he doing the
So
research. He doing the research and the knowledge
absolutely,
to
absolutely,
so
he
his
investigates.
content.
That's what his thing. But he's an activist, so he knows
Yeah.
how to get information. They're
Yeah.
not
He's really
activists.
out here.
They're content creators. You don't hit the streets like he do. You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like
Facts.
he's out there. He's talking to victims. It's not just Dalton that he's doing. So y'all mad, but y'all not out here putting y'all feet to the pavement, trying to really come to these meetings and figure out why is it like this.
Well, you know what? Let me say something there 'cause that's a good point. I think people should just be happy in general because, like you said, it come down to your motive, right? So for me, being from Dalton and that whole area,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I wouldn't want to make videos every day about Tiffany Henyard. You know what I'm saying? It
No,
just don't feel right for me personally. But again, I'm with you. I do understand the business of YouTube and putting stuff out there, and
right.
that's your main thing. I get it. I personally wouldn't feel comfortable because again, the pain of the people. I
Listen,
lived there. I grew up there, so I understand that it feels a little weird to me to do that. And I think a lot of people, them YouTubers, if it was the pain of their town, they probably wouldn't be feeling
let me
the
tell you
material like
something.
that.
When Jedidiah had a beef with some other YouTubers from out of state, like most of the YouTubers don't live here; they live in
Sure.
other states. So they a lot of times when they talking about what's going on in Dalton and Thornton Township, they mix the two up because they don't understand the difference between the village of Dalton and Thornton Township
Right.
because they don't
Right.
live here; they're out of state.
Hmm.
So they give misleading information or say stuff that's inaccurate, and then you have other people believing what you're saying because you don't know how to distinguish the two. So,
Right.
like when Jedediah was into a beef with them, they found out he was staying at a hotel. Now, mind you, Jedediah he had a monkey, and they called the authorities and figured out what hotel he stayed in. And the police went to his hotel, found his monkey, and seized it and euthanized it.
Damn. This is what they doing. That's what the YouTubers. I
It
mean,
was so sad, but yes, it's
that's that's
like
that's
it's just like an
that's crazy.
ongoing. Like, why would y'all even stoop that low? You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, at the end of the day, like if you just want if you want the information out there, if you just want the information, you want to contribute to information getting out there, then you shouldn't even care who's covering it better. If
Hello,
if if Jedidiah is covering it better, that's good. If you care about the
hello.
information, everybody should be pushing in the same direction, in
And
my
it's all
opinion.
about your delivery too. Everybody that's a YouTuber shouldn't be a YouTuber.
That's a
Everybody
fact.
don't have good content to
That's a fact.
provide, and everybody doesn't have good conversations behind the content that they're actually providing. So you will be
Right.
sitting on there talking for all of this time, but talking in circles, and nobody knows what the hell you're talking about. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
even with Grace Lee, with Levi, whatever her name is, like she victim shame for Nia because she mad at Jedidiah because her and Jedidiah got this inbox beef going on. Mind you, she done screenshotted all of the messages that she antagonized him to respond to. You know how somebody in your inbox and sending you little stuff, calling you out your name and stuff, and then now you
Yeah.
okay. Now I'm gonna say something. because this is just going too far. Like that's how it was. And she even showed like, okay, well, I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I inboxed him. How petty are you?
And that part, that's the unfortunate thing. And I'm glad you shed light to that, because I don't even think people are aware of that. I think that you know, that's shameful, honestly, because
Hello.
at the end of the day, at some point, she won't, Tiffany Henry won't be in power
Mayor.
no more. And there's a distinct difference between like a Jedidiah, who is an activist and literally is covering this in a different type of way, right?
Absolutely.
So
Because he's
it's
on the ground with
he's
this.
on the ground,
He
and then
spends
other
money
people,
to get flights to come back and forth. He don't
facts,
live in Illinois.
and that will tell people right there. That's
He's
not
in Texas.
activists. Most activists on that level are not making money; they're
Remember,
spending
he
money.
didn't even have a YouTube until he came with Dolton because everybody told him you need a YouTube. You need a YouTube because all the other content creators had YouTube channels.
Hmm.
So that's the only reason why he opened a YouTube.
Well,
But it's
other content creators, they ambulance chasing, and what's going to
yeah,
happen is that when all of this, because for me, I have a channel, but my thing is not about Tiffany Henyard every day. I
right,
had I was like, I'm gonna talk to Viv, because I was like, what, I we know each other kind of
right,
directly, indirectly, just being in the same neighborhood and schools
yeah.
and stuff
And
like
I
that.
like to
And
get
then
the information out. So
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I was like, you know what? She actually is there. I was like,
yeah,
I know her. I was like, she there every week, and she really is passionate. She ain't up there playing games. And I'm like, my thing is that my point is that I want it to be solved. I want people not to have to talk about Tiffany Henyard in the story no more.
absolutely. And
I
that's
want the
gonna be
story to
so
go
hard
away.
because nobody gonna stop talking about Tiffany Henry for some years
Well,
because
probably not, but probably
she has
not. But
done
you know what?
so much
We
that
want the story. People who care want this thing solved. People who
absolutely
don't care. The difference between the mother YouTubers and Jedidiah, the mother YouTubers hope the chaos go on forever, so they
keep
can just keep
going,
making
yeah.
stories.
Because they
And
like
while
it.
it's horrible though, because while they keep making stories, people really suffering. People really
Absolutely.
going through stuff.